So I do have a question. So maybe directed to everyone or maybe just Umar. I do want us to kind of speak about the ecological crisis that sort of is like underlining all of this. And it's presenting danger, the Anthropocenic danger that the region is in. Also, you have the nukes, you have the military, which is the size of Dallas. And then they're getting more and more land under them, and which also means munitions, which also means all kinds of accoutrements that the armies have. Then you also have the local police that are also militarized. And now you have how many more bunkers? Is it like 9,000 or 10,000 more bunkers across the LOC? It is the only line of control or line that is militarized that's visible from the space. So, and then you have 8 million people who are kept away from their natural corridors that could make trade easier, that could make their food easier, that could make their lives easier. Can we talk about that and bring out the daily, the tragedies that visit on people by the borders that are not borders? Because Kashmir does not have any technical border inside it. There's a line of control. So we kind of like want to talk about, and I think the global audiences in this moment are really, I mean, I don't want to say like this is the moment that people are watching. Kashmir is not re-internationalized. It's not internationalized. It's always been an international problem with Kashmiris as stakeholders. So I think that's also important. But I wanted, Omer, maybe you could speak to that and sort of give us the idea of the danger that the region presents to the people and to the subcontinent.
In addition to what you've said, there's also repetitive environmental degradation in this space. You have repeated earthquakes, floods. This part of the world has most glacial ice outside the Arctic poles. So, with climate change, you have increased flooding and all sorts of, things that kind of intersect and kind of enmesh and layer on the political violence and on the kind of bordering practices that are enforced onto people. So it's even kind of hard to kind of disentangle the Anthropocene from the militarization and the everyday, conditions of, enduring and persisting harm and violence that seeps into everything in that space, right? So when you ask people, if you signal out people and ask them about an earthquake or a flood, it will always come back to the limitations of the border, the imposed border, and also the militarization of the border, the ammunition, the firing, um, the unexploded landmines and how they all kind of intersect with the flooding and the earthquakes to become this one massive atmosphere of violence, essentially. Um, so yeah, I mean, it's just it's just so incredible to kind of even try to articulate the violence that people experience, particularly across the line of control and near and around the line of control. And the line of control, as you say, is an imposed line. It has no material bearing to any Kashmiri in historical sense. But it cuts and structures and kind of an ontology onto people that forces them to then reorganize their lives in relation to the border or in relation to the disruptions caused by the border, I would say, right? It's all an imposition, like you're saying. And I don't know if anybody wants to add.
Robert, you were looking like you're poised to say something.